What's up, everybody? It's your boy Rashad Buie. Consider hitting that like and subscribe button as I upload videos on a weekly basis covering the hottest topics in sports, especially if it is OU related. This is Ballin' with Buie. Today I want to give you my NBA playoff predictions for round one. I think it's going to be a pretty intense round one. Usually there's a lot of chalk in the first round, but I don't think that's going to be the case. There's some teams that are lower seeds than they actually are worthy of, and there's some teams that are higher seeds than they're actually worthy of. So let's jump right in. In the West, that's where we're going to start. Number 1 seed Jazz are going to take on the number 8 seed Warriors. Jazz had the best record in the NBA, 52-20. Warriors won last play-in game to make the playoffs. Warriors also won the head-to-head matchups against the Utah Jazz 2-1. Jazz leading scorer Donovan Mitchell is expected to return from an ankle injury he suffered about a month ago. He's expected to return for Game 1. Jazz are dangerous. We know that. They had the best record in the NBA, number 1 seed in the West, the best conference. A couple players that they got Mitchell, they got Clarkson, they got Bogdanovich, they got Conley, etc., etc. They have plenty of weapons, so that will not be an issue for them. Warriors, on the other hand, they're not a threat. Only threat is Steph Curry. Steph Curry is the threat, averaging 32 points per game. He's an MVP finalist. Yeah, but the Warriors, they're not going to be able to get it done because that's all they have is Steph. Now, if it's Steph and Clay, if it was the Splash Bros, it'd be a completely different story, and I'd probably switch up who I'm going with, but Clay's out, so we got to roll with the Jazz. I think Steph can probably pull one game out, but that's about it, so I got Jazz in 5. Next, we got the 4 seed Clippers versus 5 seed Mavericks. Clippers went 47-25 on the year, and the Mavs went 42-30. Mavericks won the head-to-head matchup in the regular season, 2-1. Big question for the Clippers is Paul George going to be there in the playoffs? And I'm not talking about physically. He's obviously physically going to be there, but is he going to be mentally there? Is he going to be mentally locked in? In the bubble, he blamed his play on depression. You can believe him, not believe him, whatever. I don't know why he would lie, but he blamed his play on depression partially, but that doesn't make up for his playoff efforts when he was in OKC, and his nickname is Playoff P, but Playoff P hasn't been existent since he was in Indiana on the Pacers. So we'll see if Playoff P returns this postseason. My money's no, but we will see. Maybe he'll try to make a return. Playoff P, that is. Now Luka took the series last year. They met each other in playoffs. Luka took the series to Game 6 last postseason. He leads the team in points, he leads the team in assists, he leads the team in rebounds. And this is potentially going to be the first series that the Mavericks can win. They haven't won a series since they won the championship in 2010, I believe. That was the last time they won a series. They've been to the playoffs multiple times, but they haven't been able to get the win. And I'm going to go with the upset here. I know a lot of people are going with the Clippers. Just about everyone, all the analysts, all the fans, etc., etc., they're rolling with the Clips. But I'm going to take Luka. I think it's Luka's time to show up and show out. So I'm taking Mavs in 6. Heard it here first. 3 seed Nuggets, 6 seed Trailblazers. Nuggets went 47-25 on the year. The Blazers went 42-30. Nuggets won the head-to-head matchup 2-1. Nuggets, obviously, without Jamal Murray, who had a great postseason last year in the bubble. He had that big matchup with Donovan Mitchell, and Jamal Murray's out with the ACL injury. He will not be playing in the postseason, which is a big loss for the Denver Nuggets. But they still have Jokic. He's a leader on the floor statistically and in the locker room, even though Jamal Murray is an outstanding athlete. Jokic leads the team in points, rebounds, assists, and steals. So obviously he is your guy. He is the core of your offense. But on the other side, you got Dame Dollar looking at you. The Trailblazers are going to try and make another run with their leader, Dame Lillard. And I don't know if the Nuggets are going to be able to get it done without Jamal Murray. I think the Nuggets are going to have a hard time without him. So I got Blazers in 6. The last game in the West, 2 seed Suns, 7 seed Lakers. Suns went 51-21. They were one game back off of that number 1 seed that the Jazz were able to claim. Lakers won their playing game, so they made it to the playoffs. The Suns won the head-to-head matchups 2-1, with the Lakers getting the last one at the end of the regular season. And the Suns had a great turnaround this year. Last year I believe they went 34-39, something like that. Whatever it wasn't good. And this year it's been great. They're the 2 seed in the West. I wish the Suns didn't have to face the Lakers in the first round because I really wanted to see them make it to that Western Conference Finals. But with the Lakers, it's going to be really hard to bet against playoff LeBron. I don't care how good his team is. I don't care who he's playing against. It's almost impossible to bet against playoff LeBron. And he's got AD. Even though LeBron and AD were out for significant time during the regular season, it's the playoffs. It's a new beginning. So I think it's going to be a great series. With that being said, I got Lakers in 7. Lakers in 7. That wraps up the West. So in my second round predictions, I got Mavs versus Jazz in the second round, and then I got Lakers versus Blazers in that second round. Rolling up to the East, 1 seed Sixers versus 8 seed Wizards. 76ers went 49-23 on the year. The Wizards were able to win that final play-in game to make it to the playoffs. 76ers swept the regular season matchups 3-0. And Wizards have been pretty bad all year. They were just able to sneak in to the playoffs. They're probably going to wish that they didn't, because the 76ers have been the exact opposite of what they have been. 76ers have been dominating the East all season long, and I smell a sweep in this one. I got 76ers in 4. Moving on down, 4 seed Knicks, 5 seed Hawks. Now this is what I am here for. Knicks and Hawks both went 41-31 on the year. Knicks won the head-to-head matchup 3-0 though. Yikes. It's good to see the Knicks in the playoffs. It's the first time since 2012. Those were the good old days for the Knicks, 2012. But now it's a new era, and this era is strangely led by Julius Randle and Derrick Rose. Don't know who saw that coming. If you did see it coming, you're lying, because nobody did. It's also very strange to see the Hawks in the playoffs. It's the first time we've seen them in the playoffs since 2016, and it's the first time that we're going to see Trae Young in the playoffs. I think this series is probably going to be the best series in the East. I don't know which one could potentially be better. I honestly don't think any of them have the potential that this one has, and it was very hard for me to choose a winner in this one, but I think I got to roll with Trigger Trae and the Hawks in 7. Atlanta Hawks beating the New York Knicks in Game 7 to advance to the second round. Moving on, 3 seed Bucks versus 6 seed Heat. Bucks went 46-26, and the Heat went 40-32. Bucks won that head-to-head matchup in the regular season 2-1. And personally, I think this is the year that Giannis Antetokounmpo is going to have a playoff breakthrough. He always kind of disappears in the playoffs, and they constantly are getting upset in the playoffs. He hasn't made it to that NBA Finals that he has been wanting to make it to. I don't know if this year is going to be the year, but I do think that if they lose, it's not going to be because of Giannis. It's not going to be because Giannis didn't show up and perform. I think this is going to be the year that Giannis is going to put up the numbers that he's supposed to put up, because he's considered one of the greatest NBA players on the planet right now. Heat had a good run last season. You know, they had a couple upsets on their way to the NBA Finals to compete with the Lakers, where they ultimately lost. And I think that luck has completely ran out. I think the Bucks are going to dominate this series. I've seen a lot of people saying it's going to be a 6-game series, 7-game series, and I just don't see that happening. I think the Bucks and Giannis are going to dominate, and I got the Bucks in 5. I'll give 1 to the Heat, but I got the Bucks in 5. Now the last series in the East, I got 2 seed Nets versus 7 seed Celtics. Nets went 48-24. We already know who they got, what's happening up over there. Celtics, they won a play-in game to make it to the playoffs, and not surprisingly, but the Nets swept the regular season matchup 3-0. And this is the easiest series to call in the first round, in my opinion, East and West combined. Even with the 76ers Wizards, because I could see the Wizards just getting a game with Bradley Beal and Russell just snatching a game. But if the Nets have all their pieces together, I think this is an easy sweep, because the Celtics have not looked that good all season long. They were lucky to be able to get the 7th seed. But yeah, sorry Boston, I think you're going to get swept. Nets are in the playoffs. Once again, they were there last year, but they didn't have the players that they had. So obviously they didn't make a run, and I think this year, Nets are going to make a run potentially, unless someone can stop them. I could see that happening too, but this first round, Nets are going to get out easy and complete that sweep. So second round matchups, I'm predicting Hawks versus 76ers and Bucks versus Nets. That's all I got for the round 1 predictions. We'll see what happens. It's going to be a crazy round 1. Catch y'all then. Deuces.